Hello and welcome back to the channel of nonsense, and I'm afraid today probably a little bit of snot as well. I'm not very well. My arm aches because I've just had my COVID jab and I'm just a bit run down and knackered because of kids and stuff like that. But anyway, enough about me. I'm here today to talk to you about the new BMW M3. You might know a couple of months ago, a couple of thousand of you watched my first review of the new M3, and if you did watch it, you'll remember that day was wetter than an aquatic wizard's silk purse underwater or something. It was grim, it was wet, and it wasn't exactly the ideal conditions for reviewing a 500 horsepower rear-wheel drive car. Now luckily BMW UK have given me one for a couple of days to have in the dry, to go for a razz and basically do normal family stuff with. So I've already got sausage roll crumbs in it from hospital car park munchies, and I'm going to just take you along for a quick razz to see what it's actually like in the dry. Now I'm not going to give you the whole stat lowdown like I did in the first thing. I've done that. This is just what it's like to live with a little bit of an update on my channel, me and other bits and bobs. But I'll try and keep that brief because it's probably boring. Let's go. Right, just before we get going, I'll give you a quick walk around just to remind you of what the new M3 is like. I mean, we've got the famous grille. If you were a midwife giving birth to that, would you push it back in? I'm actually all right with it. It kind of looks modern, really. Hang on, let me flip you around. There we go. Yeah, I'm kind of all right with it. I think it suits the M3 more than the M4, and I think the M3, like back here, looks butcher because it's more pumped out, whereas the M4 is just based on the wider by default 4 Series. I think this is just a more well-proportioned thing. This is a £74,000 car. This one's got 10 grand of options on it, 6 grand of which is carbon fibre, and you've got things like the red painted brake calipers are a bit more. Various other little bits of tech. You've got carbon fibre, little lip spoiler up there, carbon fibre rear diffuser, there's carbon fibre bits at the front as well. Basically, lots of carbon fibre. It's got a boot with some litres of space. Inside, it is very, very orange. This is the Kyalami orange interior, which is, I think, a no-cost option. There's also a lemon yellow and blue one, and these super, super huggy seats, which, as I said, have got sausage roll crumbs in them, sorry. And you can adjust the bolsters using this little switch here, and you can make it so huggy I can't fit in, even in my new streamlined, sporty chassis that I've been working on in the gym. Standard carbon fibre on the steering wheel on all the UK cars. Big carbon fibre shift paddles with this textured red backing on them, and loads of carbon fibre. Anyway, you know what it is now. Let's go for a drive and see what it feels like in the dry. Right, let's go for a drive. The first thing you notice when you get in this particular M3 competition is that it does have an M5 floor mat fitted. I think that's just a mistake by the BMW valeting people. The next thing you notice is it's quite noisy when you start it up, especially in the sportier modes. That exhaust emits quite the blare. Now I'm going to be doing, oh no, I've twisted my seatbelt. Oh no. Right, I'm going to be doing some smallish country roads and then we'll get on to the faster stuff. The first thing you really notice though, as soon as you step off in normal mode, which is called road, obviously, you can then customize the M buttons and everything else, we'll get onto that, is that unless you have the most forgiving other half and kids, you're going to struggle to swing this as a family car. You might think, yeah, it's the M3, it's got the back doors, it's going to be, you know, usable as a daily for the family. It just ain't. It's way too stiff. And BMW's done an amazing job of giving this a really taut, tied down chassis, but that has come at the complete expense of comfort over bumps. I drove my girlfriend and our little daughter to hospital earlier in this, and everything rattles, the child seats are going, and the child in it is making similar noises too. So yeah, it is probably just about too firm to be a daily family car. I'm sorry, and I know there'll be lots of BMW keyboard warriors who are the angriest men on the internet, and it is mostly men, who'll be telling me off in the comments. Anyway, so yeah, it is firm, but you know, you kind of spend 80 grand on an M3 to have fun, don't you? So I'm gonna shut up, get some roads where I can go faster than 40 miles an hour, and get back to you. Okay, we're about to get to the twisty fun roads, but I just want to talk about the gearbox briefly. The old dual clutch is gone. You can only get the M3 and M4 in the UK with the ZF 8-speed torque converter. And it's quite aggressive for a torque converter, but it's still a bit dim-witted, and occasionally it won't kick down as much as you want to. It's not telepathic like a Porsche PDK or the best dual clutches. And sometimes it just hangs on to gears for longer than it should do, really. Like when you boot it to get past the car and lift right off, it doesn't then shift up. I know it's hard to get shift settings and everything calibrated nicely, and you can adjust the severity between 3 levels using a little switch down here on the gear knob. But yeah, it's just a slight black mark, and I know you can buy this car with a manual gearbox in America and other places, but yeah, sadly we don't get that. Right, we're about to get to the good stuff. Let's talk about that engine before we do, because this car is flipping fast, as you might expect. It's got about 501 horsepower, I think it is, 650 newton meters of torque from that 3-litre twin turbo straight 6. And yeah, it's biblically fast, and now I'm driving it in the dry, it's even quicker. The traction it finds is amazing, yet through your bum you can still feel the rear tyres digging in and squirming a little bit trying to hunt out the traction. And the way it fires you out the corner is amazing. You can feel the diff working and adjusting the line of the car mid-corner. It's really quite impressive. It kind of rotates you out the corner without fully sliding, if that makes sense. It feels a bit motorsporty, if I'm going to be a bit of a twat about it. Yeah. It is mostly about the chassis of this car. The engine is phenomenal, and it makes some interesting noises, but really, it's when you fire out of corners that you get the thrill. And as I think I'm probably about to say, the connection you get with this car because of that chassis is next level. Right, anyway, we're about to go from a 30 limit to a 60 limit. I'm going to put it in second gear, 4,000 RPM. I think it's quite short geared. I'm just going to boot it and see what happens. Everything's in Sport Plus. Bit of squirming, shift lights, there we go. That was the gearbox just not shifting up quickly enough near the red line, so you get stuck on the red line for a bit, and it's just embarrassing. But yeah, loads and loads of mid-range. You end up speeding by accident in this just because the mid-range is so powerful. But it's very easy to just accidentally cruise along at slightly too fast. Right, I'm in Sport Plus mode now, and as you pick up the speed, the chassis does kind of feel like it softens a bit. It works with the road, and it doesn't jump you off bumps and yumps, despite the fact you can take corners very quickly. So yeah, it kind of smooths out at higher speeds. Yeah, what most amazes me is just the confidence it gives you, kind of through your butt more than the steering, to give it a boot full out of corners, to send you down the next straight. It's almost Porsche-like in the connection it gives you to the road. It's really, really good. Yeah. Okay, yeah, this is as good as I thought it was. The thing was, I drove this last in the wet, and I kind of had it in M dynamic mode, and it was dancing out roundabouts and everything, but I didn't know how it would work in the dry. It turns out it is really, really bloody good. Little slide. Oh, that gearbox is annoying me. I don't remember it being that bad. You get the red and yellow flashing shift lights up here, and you pull the paddle, and about a quarter of a second too late, it shifts up again, and you're like, now everyone's looking at me like I'm driving it like a knob. So yeah, that's a weird black mark, but otherwise, it's great. I would say the steering has more feel than we're used to in modern saloon cars, but it's not dripping with it. Obviously, it's still an electronic rack and everything else. overtake. There we go. Shift down. Come on. Yeah. You would never get stuck behind a caravan in this so long as it's legal to overtake and proceed. Yeah, the brakes I haven't really mentioned. They are phenomenal. Don't need the optional carbon ceramics. The steel ones are perfectly good enough for the road. Loads of feel, and they stop you like you've hit a brick wall. As a package, this is really, really good. It's up there with the best drivers' cars on sale at the moment, your Porsche Caymans and things like that. I would say this is a rival to have all of them, yet this obviously has a boot and rear seats, although not especially great ride quality, as I said. Revisiting the new BMW M3. Yes, it's still blowing my mind. I still absolutely adore the way it makes you feel as a driver, even if you're slightly ham-fisted like me. Looks after you, involves you. It's incredibly fast, yet it's incredibly satisfying to drive through a set of twisty corners. It's great. Right, that's the M3 bit of this over. I said I was going to talk about my channel, and talk about my channel I am, because you might have noticed in my past videos over the past couple of months, the bags under my eyes getting heavier and darker, and my videos probably getting worse and worse, if that was even possible. I'm just a bit knackered and burnt out, frankly. YouTube is a demanding mistress. I do it as part of my job. And doing 3 videos a week, 2 car, 1 motorbike one, subscribe to Tim Really Rides Motorbikes, is just a bit full on. And frankly, editing, filming, doing it all myself is, yeah, it takes a lot of time and it stresses me out a bit. I'm not the most natural presenter, so I get quite anxious when I film stuff. And I'm just, yeah, there's been moments where I'm really not enjoying it. I'm not going to sack it in, but I might slow down the output a bit in the coming weeks. And the fact that I'm doing this with a very sassy 2-year-old daughter and a very demanding 13-week-old daughter at home means I'm not getting much sleep, and I've just been on holiday and I'm even more knackered as a result of that. So yeah, where was me getting to drive nice cars but being knackered? I'm just saying, if you don't see me every single day of the week on YouTube, that's why. And I do really appreciate all of you watching, all of you subscribers. I love having a bit of banter in the comments with you. You're all great, all you regulars, thank you so much. It does mean the world to me. This will never be a full-time thing for me, but you know, I just like doing it most of the time. So yeah, in the next couple of weeks, what have I got? Polestar 1, I've got to get that out. Porsche Macan Turbo, I've filmed that, driven that. Can't remember what else. My to-do list is massive. I shouldn't whinge, but I've got lots of cars that I've already filmed to get out and edit. And a few more exciting things coming up that I can't talk about yet. And my Mini, because I've put a big top box on my Mini. I should talk about that as well. So yeah, there is stuff coming. My motorbike channel is actually probably busier at the moment. That's growing really nicely. And bikes, as you might have guessed, really are my main love. Cars is the job, work side of things. Motorbikes, that's the channel where you hear me giggle lots and be even more unprofessional. So do check out Tim Really Rides Motorbikes. That's probably enough from me. Say something nice in the comments or call me a twat, whatever works. And I'll see you next time. Like, comment, subscribe. And double subscribe to the motorbike one as well. Phew. Goodbye.